stood there small amongst the flames, village gone in sorrow's name. Tears reflected in the sky, shattered dreams and whispers die. Smoke and ashes fill the air, memories lost in deep despair. She clutches dolls of vanished past in chaos where the shadows cast. Embers of yesterday burn the...
All weapons, open fire right now. Plasma beams, full spread. Release the radiation mines.
But sir, the radiation mines are supposed to be set off at a distance.
If we trigger them while I ward nearby, blow ourselves to pieces.
What do I look like, an idiot?
The captain replied to the crew member.
We are moving forward, aren't we? Once we release them, we'll pass them by. As we're passing, we detonate. We will hit that thing, and not us. Stop questioning me and do your damn job. Why am I surrounded by idiots?
He said, his fingers now gripping into the leather armrests of his chair, so tight that he couldn't feel them anymore.
But somebody tell me where the hell my engines are. Why isn't the core up yet?
Sir, core power returning in 3, 2, 1.
One person typing into a panel said, as the lights rose in the room for a moment.
The core power is restored, sir. The shields are gaining stability. Weapons fire now at maximum yield.
They said, as rumbles one after another began to shake the interior of the control room, just small ones vibrating it.
Would someone tell me what the hell is going on? How much damage have we inflicted?
Sir, we don't know.
One of the crew members replied.
The material that the Kraken is made out of is strange. We don't know how to make heads or tails of it. We can't tell if we're even hurting it at all. It's the same with the weapons fire. We're firing into it, but we just can't tell if we're doing anything. And not only that, the Kraken is now increased. It's spread over us. It has now consumed more than 30% of the vessel. It's still eating us, sir.
Well, give me full engines.
Yes, sir. We're already firing the engines up.
The crew members said, as they typed in a few buttons, and another jolt of movement shook the control room.
We're now at maximum impulse, but nothing's happening. It's not tearing us away. The impulse engines are pulling us forward. Well, at least the ones that aren't swallowed by the Kraken, but we don't seem to be pulling away from it, sir. It's got a grip on us. On top of that, we're still losing shield strength, sir, and rapidly. Even though the core is on now, what should have boosted the power, restored the energy that we lost. But this kind of attack isn't something that our shields are meant to deal with. The shields that we produce are essentially countless streams of energy that arc from the metal outside of the ship. They arc upward a short distance, creating a field surface only a few inches, after which the energy is pulled back down into the actual planning of the ship. This creates a field of energy that deflects attacks, a barrier that protects us. But the problem is it's only made to withstand single burst attacks, explosions, energy weapons, hard impacts, single shots. They're not made to withstand a constant force like this. Whatever the Kraken is, it's putting tremendous pressure on the shields. The more the shields try to compensate for it, the more energy they burn, the more it fries out the energy receptors that run the shield panels that go across the ship. The more shield panels that go down, the more the ones around it have to pick up the yield in order to cover the distance, which means the faster that they burn out. Sir, we are rapidly losing all shield panels towards the rear side of the ship.
Damn it. Activate the Delta drive.
Sir, we can't do that.
One of the crew members replied, shocked. That, the captain even suggested it.
Sir, the Delta drive produces an absolutely enormous amount of thrust. It's used for deep space travel, sir, allowing us to propel ourselves faster than the speed of light. But when you're moving that fast, there's no maneuvering. There's no turning. We're just on a forward motion. If something gets in our path, we can't avoid it. If we try to fire the Delta drive in the middle of a debris field, we'll never make it out. no matter how many lives we have. And that's even if we could survive firing them off.
The engines for the Delta drive might just cause us to freaking explode.
After all, the primary thrust yield is going to be in the rear of the ship, which is currently inside of the Kraken. We have no idea how our ship or the Kraken is going to respond to that. It might blow us all to pieces.
Yeah, well, you can forget about that. The internal pressure from the Kraken is warping the ship.
What? But our shields are up.
Yeah, but as I said, the shields were meant to deflect momentary attacks, not pressure. In the vacuum of space, there is no pressure, or at least there's not supposed to be. The pressure from the Kraken is warping the ship, bending it out of shape. The firing of the Delta drive relies on very specific placement. If you're off, even by a little bit, the whole thing will just blow up in your face. It'll rip the ship apart. And right now, everything's out of alignment from the rear end on.
The man said, as once again there was another shake inside of the ship, sparks flying from panels. As you could hear, what sounded like an explosion in the distance.
What was that?
Sorry, sir, we just lost the cargo bay. The deflection field there isn't as strong as for the rest of the ship. It wasn't meant to withstand combat. Remember, this used to be a frigate for transportation of large goods and not a warship. Even with the blast shields up, it's our weak spot, and the Kraken just deep penetrated it. We've already lost the entire interior of the cargo bay. I've put up a field to stop the flow of whatever it is. It seems to be holding for the moment, but it's not going to for long. Wait a second, that can't be right. Something's wrong.
What the hell is it now?
The captain shouted.
Sir, I don't know how, but there's a fluid inside the ship, some kind of material. The field that I put up is meant to stop it, but it's not working, sir. I don't know how, but whatever the fluid is, it seems to have eaten through different segments of the interior, places that I can't project shields or fields of any kind. It's beginning to flow through the ship's networks. I'm losing control of one system after the next, and the Kraken has now consumed 60% of the ship.
Damn it all. Abandoned in ship. Everyone to escape pods. Get the hell out.
Sir, we can't.
What?
The captain said, looking furiously at his crew member who himself was looking as if he were in despair.
Sir, we've lost the systems that control the emergency escape pods. We can no longer eject from the ship, he said as he began to lower his hand from the control panels.
What the hell are you doing?
The captain shouted.
There's no point, sir. We've already lost control. All of our internal systems have shut down. My panel is no longer responding to my orders. It's useless, as I surmise that the other ones are.
He said, looking down in despair. As the captain's eyes began to glance across the interior of the control room, seeing all of the different members of his crew typing away at different panels. Some furiously, maddeningly, in a complete panic, tapping buttons repeatedly, over and over again, but seeming to get no effect. Others, like the man before him, had already stopped typing, some just looking down at the panels in terror, others seeming to clutch themselves, looking terrified, some even crying.
This can't be happening,
one of them said, simply staring at the panel in front of her.
So, this is just it. Eaten by some freaking monster in the middle of space. A freaking junkyard. That's as far as I got, son of a bitch.
The captain said, slamming his hand into the armrest of his chair. Suddenly, something broke through the silence, the panic and the terror.
Hello? Is this thing working?
Yes, you're live. We've already taken control of their systems. All panels and controls from the interior of the ship should be non-responsive by this point. They're not going anywhere or doing anything.
New voices said, as they projected through the communication system on the ship.
Hello, everyone.
You're probably shitting yourself right about now, right?
Ooh, the Kraken's eating us. And wondering how this happened. Well, to be honest, it's just bad luck for you, really. The Kraken decided it liked me. So when you fired me into its belly, what actually ended up happening was that he gave me control over it. Turns out the Kraken's a ship that was looking for a captain. And I, Captain Mika, am now in charge. Now, to be honest, none of you really deserve to make it out of here. Remember, I was a part of your crew. I know what you do. If the universe were a truly fair place, all of you would meet your end right here, right now. But as it were, the universe isn't always fair. So I'm going to give you an option. The Kraken is currently in need of some replacement parts. For that, we're going to be using the remnants of the ship. You know, the one you're currently in. But don't worry, this doesn't mean that you all have to die. As the new captain of this vessel, and I suppose, soon enough, the vessel that the Kraken is currently swallowing whole, I have decided to grant a bit of leniency. There's only really one person on that ship that I actually care if they ever die. So here's the deal. Captain Vermin will immediately make his way to the cargo bay of the ship, where we've created a nice space for him. He can go there of his own accord, or you guys can lend a hand and make him go. One way or another, as long as he makes it to the cargo bay of the ship alive, then I'll spare the rest of you. Once we're done taking what we need from the remnants of this ship, the Kraken and I will drop you off at the nearest habitable planet with supplies and some basic signaling equipment so that you can call for aid. You'll be on your own for a while, but you can survive it. Or you can refuse this. Decide to stay loyal to your captain, in which case everyone dies. You have 5 minutes to get Captain Vermin of the Darylis into the cargo bay in order to meet the Darylis' new captain. After that 5-minute allotment is up. If he's not there, then everyone goes. I hope you guys have a fun time making your choice. To be honest, I really feel like I'm being too nice about this, but if there's any difference between us, it's that I want to keep some portion of my humanity, my overall moral sensibilities. I had to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do while I was a part of your crew. But for the first time, I'm the one wearing the pants in this situation. And I'm not going to let the person that I had to pretend to be while I was there be who I'm going to be for the rest of my life, but all the cruelty that I do have is going to be a personal gift to your captain. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Mika's voice announced over the radio systems as the signal cut out. Mika's voice announced over the radio systems as the signal cut out.